So my buddy Jeff Scholes texted me the other day and asked me to accompany him to Gentleman's Footwear to pick up his first pair of shell Cordovan shoes. For those who live in San Diego, you'll know that Alden shoes aren't sold regularly here. In fact, there's only one store in the whole city who sells them, and that's Gentleman's Footwear. So it was a pleasure to go visit Steve and to go into his little boutique shop. It's really nice. He was gracious enough to meet with us while the store was actually closed, and he was sorting inventory and everything. So in the video, you'll see that there are shoes and there are clothes everywhere. So that's not his fault. He was actually sorting inventory, and he allowed us to come in and let Jeff try on some shoes. The store is really awesome. He has a lot of great shoes. He has Alden, Carmina, and Edward Green, which are top-of-the-line shoes. Absolutely some of the best in the world. So if you ever have a chance to visit Gentleman's Footwear in San Diego, come on down and visit Steve. He's a really awesome guy, and his shoes are top of the line. So Jeff ended up going with the Alden Indie Boot on Plaza Last, and it's called the Indie Boot because it was worn by Harrison Ford in Indiana Jones. It's the Alden 405, although the ones Jeff got are on a different last. But it's a great boot. If you've never had a chance to try a pair on, you should. They're pretty awesome. So all in all, Steve did a fantastic job. He even gave Jeff a free brush and free Alden shoe trees, and that was really awesome of him to do that. So it was a pleasure to go see all the shoes that he has in stock. So I'll definitely be going back to see him. It was really cool. So this is actually the pair that tempted me the most. It was a pair of olive suede long wing Bluchers. Luckily I didn't give in to temptation, or my wife would have killed me. But it's always awesome to go with your friends and have them, when they buy their first pair of shell Cordovan shoes or what have you. So next is a small tutorial on how to care for your shell Cordovan shoes once you've worn them for the day. Okay, so you just wore your shell Cordovan shoes for a whole day, and now it's time for some proper maintenance. I think a lot of people don't realize that shell Cordovan is very easy to maintain and to care of. As you can see, after wearing shell, you might notice some white residue here along crease points. This is called blooming, and it's actually the natural oils coming up out of the shell, and you'll see it in certain areas of the shoe. You can see a little bit there. It's like this white residue. It's nothing to worry about. It's completely normal with shell Cordovan, and it's actually one of the trademarks of shell. So if you see blooming, it's shell Cordovan. Okay, so it goes without saying, the first step in maintaining your shell Cordovan shoes is to use a good and proper shoe tree. I like Alden shoe trees a lot because they have the plate here. It looks really great, but they're cedar, and make sure they go in properly before you do anything else. I know it sounds like it's really obvious or on the nose, but shoe trees are the most important thing when it comes to shoe maintenance. It'll preserve the shoe's longevity and keep them in good shape. So taking care of shell shoes is quite simple, and getting rid of blooming is also really easy. You just want to brush them with a 100% horsehair brush, but you want to brush them for longer than you think. So you could spend up to 10-15 minutes a shoe, and that'll do the trick. So it may seem kind of annoying, but just keep brushing and go over the entire shoe. And this will do wonders for the shell Cordovan. The natural oils will take care of the shoe, and you just have to keep brushing to make sure the shoe looks really shiny. So I'm going to be doing this for about 10 minutes, and then we'll continue. Okay, here is some obvious blooming, so just brush. You'll see an immediate improvement. Okay, now here's some really old vintage shell. It's Horween on a pair of saddle shoes I have. If the shell looks really dry and really dull like this, you could use some Cordovan cream. I have some by Saphira here, specifically designed to treat shell Cordovan. So just get a tiny bit and just rub it over. And it'll restore some color, and it'll get a good shine in there. This is not necessary very often. Maybe once every 15 to 20 wears on your pair if you want. You don't have to at all, but some people want to. Some people prefer adding a little bit of pigment and a little bit of nourishment. Others don't want to add any color in, so they use neutral Cordovan cream. You can do that as well. So, doesn't take a lot, just a tiny bit. And then you wait 10-15 minutes, and then you can brush like normal, and you should be set. And then a simple brushing. And we're looking better. Now, if you want an even higher shine, you can use Colonial 1909. I think this is one of the best shoe creams for shell Cordovan. It doesn't penetrate very well on calf, but it shines really well for a cream. And I've been using it on my shell Cordovan for a while. I know David at V-Cleat is the the individual who turned me on to Colonial 1909. So this is also a really great alternative if you're looking for another cream, and it does really well. I've used it before on this pair, and they look really great. So Colonial 1909 is another great option. It smells absolutely fantastic. It's one of the best smelling creams out there. I know that doesn't really mean much, but I just wanted to point that out. So it's a great alternative. Conversely, and you don't have to do this at all. This is an option only some people take, and you don't have to take it at all or in any way, shape, or form. Is you can use mirror gloss and mirror shine the toe caps of your shell Cordovan shoes. Now, that's obviously not an option everyone's going to take, but I've done it before, and it works fine. If you really want a glass toe on your shell Cordovan shoes, you can do that, although some people prefer not to, and that is totally and 100% fine. So here it is. And I usually do it to protect the toe from nicks and cuts, because if shell Cordovan gets a nick or a cut that's deep enough, you might ruin the shell. So just a little tiny bit of a high shine, and you should be good to go. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at The Elegant Oxford. Links to my pages are in the description of this video. Remember, always put your best foot forward. The small details matter most, so don't forget to #ShineYourShoes. See you next time.